What's happening, my fellow geeks and geekettes? Welcome to a brand new episode of Cosplay Chris, and today marks episode 3 in the Captain Without a Country. So today's episode is all about weathering the main bodysuit for my Captain Nomad cosplay that is eventually leading up to the Gold Coast Superhero Weekend at the end of next month. So apart from the awesomeness of the parade for the Gold Coast Superhero Weekend and Supernova, there is another very big special announcement that I'm able to present to you guys today. So on the weekend of the event, the Gold Coast Superhero Weekend and the Gold Coast Film Festival are going to present anime in the mall. So essentially it's 5 anime films over 2 nights. It's all free. Sound will be played through headsets. Sessions are limited with these ones, guys. They're always jam-packed with anime fans. There is a place up there called Harajuku Goiza, and you have to try their Octo Dogs. My god, that is a tongue twister to say. It's one of the craziest things I've ever seen in terms of food. I am very keen to try it. So I will leave all the appropriate links in the video description below, but that is what's happening. This is what this build is leading up to. It's going to be an amazing weekend, and I'm so excited to finally showcase this cosplay once it's done. So like I said, today's episode is all about weathering the basic bodysuit. Not just weathering, but we're also altering. From what I've seen of screen caps of Chris Evans's screen-used Nomad costume, there are panels that have been ripped out. From what I've read where the tears are, that is vibranium under there, like a vibranium mesh or weave that is protecting his body. So I have sourced the fabric from Spotlight. It's just over there, and I will get to that later on in the video when it gets time to removing these areas and putting the panels underneath. In terms of weathering, it's going to be a mix of watering down black shoe polish. We're going to rub some good old dirt in there, probably a mixture of black and brown spray paints, washes, because you've got to understand the screen use suit is so dark. It's a massive step down from this pristine blue, this pristine white, and of course this pristine red. So the first step, we've got to remove the star, of course. The next step is, you know I'm going to be having my sleeves rolled up, but this area is a bit too thick. Once you roll the sleeves up, it gets very tight, very uncomfortable, and honestly, it's something I couldn't do for 8 hours if I went ahead with this. So I'm going to be quick unpicking these panels here on the forearm area. I'm also going to be removing the zip. We're going to do a test run to make sure it all folds up correctly, it looks nice and neat, and then we can move on to the juicy stuff, the good stuff, the weathering, and also inserting those torn out panels. This is going to be a fun one, guys. This is the episode I've been waiting for, so with that being said, let's get to it. Okay, so the paneling on the forearm has been removed, the zipper has been removed, and part of the inner netting has also been removed. So I can feel a massive difference already. So if we just, then this, keep in mind, this is just crude, guys. If I tuck it up like so, it just feels so much better already, and it's a lot more neater. I've got flexibility there when I move my forearm around, so there's no tightness, no nothing. This material stretches great around my elbow joint. Okay, now that the sleeve panels, the zipper have been removed, and also the star, it's now time to start the base weathering. So I have mixed up a batch of black shoe polish, watered down with just good old clean water. So you guys know that I use Kiwi brand black shoe polish. So this is going to be the basis for the weathering, because like I said, the screen use suit is extremely dark compared to this color tone. So it's just a matter of going over the whole suit with this stuff with a brush. I'm just going to crudely dab it all over. I'm going to wipe off the excess with a paper towel. We're going to let that dry, and then we can go in and do the finer detail weathering work, as well as removing certain areas here to expose the vibranium panels. Okay, the base weathering is pretty much done. I'm very happy with how it's looking so far. So from what I'm seeing, we still need to go in and darken some areas. So I'm going to be using a matte black spray on this area and the rest of the suit. Once it is all dry, I've got the rest of the suit hanging out on the clothesline now because this stuff takes quite a while to dry. So I'm going to take advantage of that time I have to wait for everything else to dry by removing away the panels that need to be torn up and have the exposed vibranium mesh underneath. Now what we're going to be using is a textured pleather that I got from Spotlight. Now I've been eyeing this stuff off for quite some time now. I'm fully aware that these scales are not as big as the scales on the screen used suit. Nonetheless, I think it'll come up a treat once they're colored, weathered, and installed within the suit. So this is a test swatch, just by spraying some blue on the pleather itself and giving it a weathering treatment. So I do have to make it a bit more refined, a bit more uniform, and I do have to dull it back, so it is a bit too glossy for my liking. So what I'm gonna do, I'm just gonna look at some screen caps on my phone and draw out where I have to cut away these certain areas. I know there's a big chunk here, a couple of chunks down here, and I think one down here. Okay, now that the blue spray paint has dried on the raised textured pleather, I'm just going in with some watered down black student acrylic just to get in all the crevices of the scales here. Now, once this is dry, I'm going to start cutting out little swatches and inserting them on the inside of the suit so they show through. Okay, so we've done the exposed vibranium patches, the base weathering has been done. We will eventually be attacking the whole suit with some dirt, but for the most part I'm very happy with the color scheme and how it's looking. Maybe have to darken the reds and whites just a little bit more. The more I look at screen caps from the trailer and stills of Chris Evans in the suit, these two colors are a lot more darker. So the next step is to move on to the missing star plate panels. So I traced around the panel area here just with some, this is actually a Ziploc bag. It was a Ziploc bag. I did try baking paper, but I couldn't see straight through. It wasn't transparent enough, where this was just perfect. So I then traced it onto a thin piece of foam. This is like yoga mat foam. It does look a little bit asymmetrical, but that is just how the pattern is. So it's gonna lay down in there perfectly. I'm gonna put notches in there, like the star has been ripped out, and there was panels in there to accommodate it whilst it was sitting on the chest. So first step is to spray paint it with some blue spray paint. I'm then gonna go at it with some sandpaper to get it back to a bit of black, just so it matches up with the rest of the suit here and it's not too striking on the eyes. After that, I'll cut the appropriate notches in the pattern and then Okay, so change of plans. Here is the original star pattern that I was going to place on top of the chest, but the more I looked at it, the more tacky it would look and too raised. So what I did is I cut out the whole star chest section here, cut out an even bigger panel, and we're gonna stick it from the inside, and then we can go to work doing all the details to where the star housing would be. So I'm actually using a contact adhesive, Sally's Quick Grips. So being a contact adhesive, that means we have to cover both surfaces, let them get a bit tacky, and then join them together. So overall, this is gonna give me the most ultimate bond, and that's what I want, because there is gonna be a bit of stress on this section when I do move around in it. So I want something that's gonna hold and also be flexible at the same time. Okay, so I've let the contact adhesive dry overnight. When it comes to contact adhesive, you usually should let it dry for say half a day or even up to 24 hours. There was some glue residue that is showing through here, but we can totally work with that and cover up those areas when it comes time to adding some dirt to certain areas and just give it a bit more soiling. So that is going to be the last step. The second last step is adding the notches in where the star has been housed. So what I did is I got the existing underside of the star that was actually inserted on the underside of the suit. So I've gone around and marked certain areas. So I'm just gonna use a Stanley knife to go in and cut these slots in, which is pretty straightforward, guys, but you know, the devil is in the detail. So after this step is complete, we're then gonna go and just do some final soiling over the whole suit. I'm just gonna try on the upper section just to show you guys, because this is where it's had the most work done. And also it is blisteringly hot here at the moment, even though we are in autumn. It is severely hot, so I could only probably just do with the upper part of the suit on, just for a demonstration, and then we're gonna call it a day. Alright geeks, we are all done on the weathering job of the base bodysuit. So I'm very happy how the dust effect has turned out on the pants. So it was just a matter of spraying some spray adhesive, and it really lets that dirt latch on to the actual cordura. Now here is the upper suit in all its glory. I'm beyond happy with how it's turned out. I may actually go in, it's actually funny, I'm looking at it now in real time, then I'm looking at it on the screen there, and it's a lot darker in real life. I'll just see if I can adjust the darkness. Oh, there we go. That seems to have worked. Yeah, it's a lot darker in real life. So it's funny, it's the suit, like the actual screen use suit is probably a lot darker than this one. Very happy with the star placement there where the star used to be and all the exposed vibranium mesh. So what I'm gonna do now is, I'm actually watching Frasier at the moment. I'm just gonna pop the upper suit on. Like I said, it is so hot here today. It's blisteringly hot, but you know, this is the piece that has the most work and detail on it. And you guys obviously would rather see this than me just sporting the pants. So yeah, I'm gonna pop this on and sign off and call it a day. And there we have it, guys. Very happy with the end result. Everything is secured in place. It still maintains that beautiful flexibility that the suit originally has. Now while I'm at it, I may actually add some Velcro here just so these pieces kind of are streamlined once the suit is on. Because you can see at the moment they have a tendency to kind of move away like that. If you look at the screen use suit, they are firmly in place like so. So guys, thank you as always for watching. Episode 4 is going to be all about weathering the belt pieces, all the leather pieces, also modifying the belt buckle and the straps on the shield harness themselves. Guys, wherever you are, have yourselves a cracker of a day. I hope you're well, I hope you're happy, be merry, be silly, and until next time geeks, please always remember, cosplayers do it best.